Hold on. I think you got to hear it. Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Darren, can you hear me okay?
I hear you fine. Hello. Yeah, you
Hi
can hear me
there.
right? Good evening.
We can hear you guys talking, and we love that you guys are visiting. However, we need to get our program started. So if you
So-
have friends out there, can you have them come in and take a seat, please? Should we
Go
go
get them,
outside?
pull them away from the auction.
Should
There'll
we
be
go
plenty of
outside
time
and
for
go
that.
find them? Let's
What?
go. Let's go take a look.
Oh.
Let's go. Come on, Darren.
You want to go by yourself?
No, I want
No,
you
we'll
to come
go
with
both
me.
go.
Darren has to come
Sure,
with me.
we'll go round them up.
Okay.
Hopefully you guys can still hear us.
Yep, you guys are going to hear
No,
us.
don't get too aggressive out there.
Okay.
Okay.
We're going to go check
We're gonna
on the
call out
silent
some
auction.
people.
Hey, everybody out here needs to go inside there. Hi
Okay.
there. Hey, Duncan.
folks that are
Duncan,
out
we're
here
waiting for you to come
the
inside. Come
silent
on
auction,
in.
everyone
Come on
get
in,
your
please. We're getting
behind
ready
to
to
the-
start. Ooh.
To the
okay.
room, we're about
They've got
to
a bar
start.
inside too.
Who do
You
I
guys
see
can
about?
grab your
Katie, you better
drinks.
get in there.
We're
Katie's
getting
over
ready
here
to
trying to
start.
bid on this
Excuse me.
Phoenix Sun jersey.
Come on, Katie.
And what's
Let's
your name?
go.
Sophia,
Are you
what
all
are you
set?
trying to bid on?
I'm getting ready.
Will,
Bidding
we're
on
about to
stuff.
Did you
start.
get? Yeah, outbid already.
People still taking
I
pictures.
bid and immediately was outbid.
Ah, the
So-
New York
Oh
Times is over
no!
here taking pictures.
Well, Katie,
It's
go
time to
grab
get
your
in the
seat,
front room,
and
baby.
then you can bid again online.
Go,
You're
hustle,
welcome.
hustle.
Oh,
Hustle.
photo ops!
Sterling,
Last minute photo ops.
Sterling, tell these
I'm
people to
bothering
get in here.
everybody.
Help me out
Okay,
here
are you
now.
ready to take your seat, Antonio?
Yes.
Sterling, tell
I'm
me.
coming
Come
to
on,
sit down.
guys,
Everyone,
let's get
go.
in there.
Sit down.
You gotta get this
Go
thing
sit
started.
down.
No ending
Down.
time
Okay, great.
tonight.
Thank you. Who else
No
do we
ending
have
time.
here? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, are you ready to sit down?
Well, we're looking for a ticket.
We have some really tasty
Okay,
salads
maybe
waiting
come to
for
the door
you.
here. There might be some extra tickets. Okay.
Duncan
looking
McHugh's
for
over here
tickets.
getting interviewed.
Here we go.
Golly.
You're a guest
Okay,
here this
We're getting
this
there.
year, Mister. How are you enjoying
Antonia's on her
yourself?
way.
IJ is the best place to be, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, are you going to sit down at the banquet table here soon?
Will do, will do.
Very good. Okay, who else do we have, Darren? Anybody else? Oh, there's
Hey,
people
I'm
doing
inside.
interviews in the
No idea.
hallway. Interviews in the hallway before the awards banquet. What do you think about that?
I think it's fantastic.
Because why? We're journalists.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously.
Okay, Jocelyn, do you find a place
Patty
to
is
sit?
the ever
Yeah, I did with my
the
coworkers. for a
TV
change.
journalist. Man,
Oh,
look at
good.
her.
Okay, Jocelyn, you're going to sit down, and we're going to start.
She's like the
'Cause we can't
Energizer
start
Bunny
without
over
you,
there.
Jocelyn.
Oh, right.
Anyway, yeah, folks, step on up, get your tasty salad. Yeah, let's hear it for the salad. And we'll get going here in just a few. We got some stuff lined up for you. We got the food coming in. We got entertainment. And I'm not talking about me. Hey, I'm talking about with throat singers here. But we want to get going. So we don't want to be on that certain kind of time that shall not be named. But it rhymes with Indian. Hey. You know the one.
Okay, so we're going to let you guys get settled with your salads, and then we'll be back up. So try to encourage your friends to come on in. And the banquet is supposed to be sold out, so we should be having people in every seat here, and I see a lot of empty seats still. So we want to start here in about 2 minutes. We're just going to take a quick break, and we'll be back.
We'll see you in a few.
taller than you.
Well, good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Darren Brown. I'm your co-MC for tonight. You want me front and center. I've been in NAJAs, involved in NAJA since 2013. Way long, not that long ago, really. It's not like some of the OGs. How many OGs here have been in like 20 years or more? Golly, hey, Trahan. Yeah, knew that was coming. All right, I am the senior content producer at Cheyenne and Arapahoe Television / Productions in Concho, Oklahoma. And I am Cochiti, and I'm also part Choctaw, but I'm also part Caucasian, so I'm like part Caucasian. Hey. So the deal is, I have to give you an introduction and kind of from all of it. From my Cochiti roots, I must say, Goetze, Cuerna Pueblo peeps. Hey. One, two. I couldn't see Aaliyah, I'm sorry. Are you standing up? I couldn't. Hey. And from my Choctaw roots, I have to say, Halito. And from my southern Oklahoma roots, let me just say, how y'all doing? Y'all looking good. It's good to see all of y'all. All right. So that's how, if y'all are from, see, I can't stop now. I'm up here in Canada just dropping y'alls, all right? This is my wonderful, cool, awesome co-host, Patty Talahongva. Give it up for Patty Talahongva from the Hopi Nation.
Darren, he's a lot of fun, crazy guy that he is. But eskwal angkakya no kutsaku kyang mana yan hopi matsiwa no Patty Talahongva yan pahan matsiwa. Sangal angkakya. It's so good that all of you are here tonight to honor our award winners and to recognize the excellence in Native journalism. So, we have our silent auction that's been going on outside. Hopefully everyone bid on something. You can take something home, because who profits from the silent auction?
There's kids right over there. I call them kids, they're not kids. These
young
folks right over
adults.
here. Hey, get the student, the fellowships, the fellows, stand up and wave real fast. Just wave, you don't have to stand up. Fellows in the house. Look at them, they look like they need money, right? Yeah.
That next generation of Native journalists, and so that's what, all of the money from the silent auction goes to that. So, dig a little bit deeper into your pockets, and you can bid by how? There's information on your table?
Oh, if you look on your tables, there's a cool card with a QR code on it. And if you can't figure it out, ask a young person over here, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't ask somebody like Trahan or, I'm sorry.
And
but ask me.
It's kind of like the old days where you had pencil wars, right? You'd write your name in your bid.
So that's how you do it, and I'm just
paper.
telling you right now, that Student's t-shirt is mine, so don't even try.
Oh,
And
okay.
hey, when you find an item you like, if the opening bid is 20 bucks, don't go bidding 21, okay?
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Don't try to Price is Right somebody. I'll bid 21, Drew. We want you to, dig deep. Throw a 5. They ain't gonna kill you. Throw a 5 in there.
Where's the big money this year?
Where is the big money?
Who's the big money?
Who's got the big money?
Everybody at the table, look around. Who's the big money at your table?
I don't
Encourage
know,
them
man.
to go.
I saw-
People are pointing. Look at that. They're outing the big money.
Is there
All
any
right.
Shaka P here tonight? Hey. Woo. They could fund. They
we're
could
the
buy that
gaming
whole
tribes.
thing. Where's Shaka P, man? Somebody give them a call.
So we've got the silent action going, and it will go until what time?
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
So you got a little bit of time left. You can check your bids online and outbid whoever just outbid you. And again, the idea is to help give scholarships to the next generation of Native journalists.
Can I ask? I got to do one more thing. I totally forgot.
Oh, go ahead. Darren would like your undivided attention.
I can't even open this now.
Here, let me help you.
I was sweating through my jacket. I had a hard time. Here's the deal. So I am Coach C in Choctaw, but I work for the Cheyenne and Arapahoe tribes. Their language department is right across the hall from us. So I hear it every day. So I thought, let me see if I can do a little for you tonight. So if you'll indulge me for a second, I'll try to get this out. Epeva tov. Epeva tze visonit. Napeva mota. Zi. Ta vista tsemot. Na woodstanum. Natane se ta. Evapevo pe ta. What I meant to say, and I hope I came close, was good evening. I'm good. I'm glad to be here. It feels good to be among my relatives. And I will do my best for you tonight. Thank you. Ha-ho. Nyash.
As we were preparing for this night, Darren came up, he found an app. And so many tribes have apps now that help you learn your language. And so you found a couple of apps, right?
Yeah, well, I know that the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes have one that our organization helped them with. I believe the Cherokees have something like that. And
The Chickasaws, they have an app and they have emojis that go along. So when you text, you can actually text. You got it? You use it? Good deal. Yes. So all in the effort to encourage us to continue to speak our tribal languages.
yeah, so somebody asked me one time, which is easier, Cheyenne or Arapaho? I said, neither. They were not meant to be easy, but sometimes as long as you try, we don't care if you get it wrong. You got to keep trying. It's because all the things that are happening with languages today, really, they should have been started 50 years ago. So we're just glad to see some progress, and hopefully, whatever age you are, you can take a crack at it and learn a few words.
And tonight, we're going to help teach you our languages. So when we announce winners tonight, in Hopi, the women from my mesa say esquali, and that's only a feminine word. So if you want, ladies, you can say esquali. Thank you to the award winners for doing the hard work they do, for entering the NAJA competitions, and for being able to represent excellence in Native journalism. And for which one of tribe do you want to?
The easiest one in Arapaho is 2 syllables. Ha, ho. It's real simple. Ha ho. The young people say it like this. Ha ho, many ha ho's. But just ha ho. I promise, you go to a powwow anywhere in Oklahoma and you say ha ho. They'll say, oh, you from here, baby, right? And good to see you. So it's really easy. Ha ho.
I like how you had them practice. So ladies in the room, esquali. Perfect. Now the men in the room, the Hopi men say kwa kwa. So that's just for the men. So you guys, kwa kwa. A little bit louder. I mean, you guys are grateful, right? Men?
They got their mouths full. I know that lady over there does.
So you have an opportunity to learn. And what other language were you going to speak in?
We'll do it later. We need to let them finish eating, probably.
Should we let them finish? Okay. In Hopi, we say, umaha laikyakyang nunvani. Eat with a happy heart, enjoy your meal.
See you soon.
Oh, actually, we need to bring Graham up.
Yes, I'm
Gramley
so sorry.
Brewer, come
Graham
to
Brewer.
the stage.
He thought he was getting out of it. Graham was a served 2 terms on the board of directors, and he said he may be back at some point. Hey. I kind of made that last part up. But we want him back at some point, right? Yes. Graham, buddy, take stage.
Oh, thank you. Well, actually, I could.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Darren. CO, everyone. Thank you to everyone in Winnipeg for hosting our members and conference attendees. I want to extend our first acknowledgement of the evening to the 63 First Nations across the province of Manitoba, Inuit in the north, and the surrounding Métis communities. Thank you for welcoming us. If you could, there you go, thank you. Thank you to the Google News Initiative and the Commonwealth Fund for sponsoring at the platinum level this year. Coming in at the gold level, thank you to ABC News, CBC Radio Canada, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. And at the silver level, the Associated Press, CNN, and ICT. Thank you for your support. At the bronze level, we have the, the bronze level, we have Associated Press, CNN, ICT News, and the turquoise level, AARP, APTN, the MacArthur Foundation, the Medill School of Journalism at Northwestern University, Muskoka Media, and Yahoo. Thanks to all our sponsors for recognizing the value in our work and making an investment in our mission. Okay, well, thank you so much. I guess I'm sorry the slides just caught up. So, thank you guys for coming, and I really appreciate you, and I look forward to tonight. Thank you.
So you even got a pedestal here. It's great. Well, bonjour, everyone. What we say in our language, we say bonjour deni maganaduk, which means welcome to my relatives, my colleagues, and my friends. And we say bonjour in honor of Nana Bujo, who is our spirit helper and gives us our stories and our legends. So I say, bonjour, deni maganaduk, miigwech kibijaik. And I want to honor my Indian name, which is Sage Wegijik. So I say to the sun every morning, Kimigwechuin, Kimigwechuin, Shawana. I give thanks to my wife, Shawana Paneshikwe, and I also say Kimigwechuin Wabanung. I give thanks to my Indian name, Wabanung Namatabian, where the Thunderbird sits, and I say Migwechuin Nuizuin Sage Wegijik Nidijnikaz, which is my Indian name. It was given to me when I was a young man, coming of age, and it means the rising day. And in our language, when we say ki, gijik, gizis, it means the spirit of the sun. It means the spirit of the day. So with that, I'd like to welcome you all here and give you that prayer, and I want to give you the blessing for the food. Ahau nukumis kimigwechuin quod na mawada anishna bek abachit du wat mi jin ni be asin atik. We thank grandmother for everything that she gives us, and we thank her for our Indian names, our land, and the food, asin, atik, the trees, and nibeh, the water, and mi jim, which is the food. So with that, I welcome you here, and I say miigwech kibijaik. Thank you for coming to our land, which we call Manitoba, which is where the spirit is. Oh, miigwech.
Thank you so much for that prayer, Jim. And you know, we were going to say welcome to Manitoba, but as he just mentioned, the way they say their name is Manitobi. So welcome to Manitobi. Okay, you guys might want to listen to this because I've got a really hard Inuk name to pronounce. And I've been practicing. Thank you. Okay, we would like to welcome a special guest here tonight, Madeline Alikrik. Let me try that again. Madeline Alikrik. I think I'm somewhere in the neighborhood. She is the Director of Production and Post-Production at Takamut Nippingnut. Better? She nodded. And she is going to grace us at the stage here in just a minute here. Madeline is Inuk. She was born and raised in Canada's second most northern community, Resolute Bay, Nunavut. Her family is known as the High Arctic Exiles, and they were used as human flagpoles in the 1950s by the Canadian government. And her grandparents, aunts, uncles were moved from their home in Inukjuak, Nunavik. Close. Okay. Working on that. That is northern Quebec, into the desolate lands of the high Arctic, all in the name of Canadian sovereignty. So Madeline started her career in media at the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation as a radio news reporter and eventually became a television host and producer. Please welcome Madeline Alik to the stage.
Nakokmi Patty. Ino katikay, hanoy pisi. Hello everyone, how are you all? How are you all? Yeah, don't choke on that salad. I don't know CPR yet. No, that's not a good thing. Sorry. Hi everyone. I'm just gonna put up my I had to write this down because you know, I've done this. I've been on stage all over the world. But it's different when you're in front of your peers, in front of your Inukatiks, in front of indigenous people, in front of your people. So, nakok may makialo hay ho jaw si maganik tamanit daw ako sa kung nga si tumiutalo galwak ta. O nga si tumiutalo galwak sa tatamani titaw bugot Inukatigit suta no nakakasi mayo hatigit suta. And in that prayer, you're absolutely correct. I grew up with a grandmother. If she were standing here with me, Mr. Compton, she would have said, Mala, she couldn't pronounce my name, Madeline. Mala, amama titawe haktuvinin nalo ilunaltik. She said, oh my God, all these people had to be breastfed once upon a time? And I would laugh. And I would laugh and I was like, yeah, and change their diapers too. Yeah, true story. But I was trying to understand for a long time, what did she mean by that? What did Mini Alakarela mean by when she saw a large group of people? I realized she went through so many starvation periods that any amount of food. So her only living cousin, who I interviewed just 2 weeks ago in Inukjuak in her homelands, showed me like this piece of bannock. Him and his cousins would run into my grandmother's house. And she would have this little piece of bannock and she would share them with the kids. Little piece like this. And they would run out in gratitude and start dancing. And I was like, yes. She would say, "Au katangwa kalungani, au katangwa kalungani." That was so happy that there was food. So tonight, when we're together like this, we remember those who came before us, who still believe in the gratitude because they went through those kinds of situations. We give gratitude and we remember those who are hungry because we have friends and family that in this day kahattatuapi ilapivun ilani yung itutsiak nirititaw gamik unnisyo hattahugut nirititaw haktitaw nakatta nakokmik. And that first word I teach you today, nakokmik. Thank you. Nakokmik. Nakokmik. So, hello everyone. I'm Madeline Alakiralag nakomik tamani hatikak kung nakamailit sinik tunga supunga. I have lived in Winnipeg before almost 20 years ago. And I have the funniest stories and I'm going to share them with you. So the first picture I want to show is of my grandmother. So this is my late grandmother, trying to make the children happy when they moved to the high Arctic. We were forced to move to the high Arctic, forcefully by the Canadian government, so that we could be Canadians. Yeah, They did that for us. They did that for you. Look how sad she looks. But still, she had children to think about. Still, she had kids and family to keep happy. And I think we have to always remember where we come from. And this evening, I want to share the values of our uniqueness as Indigenous people so that when we do the work that we do, we remember them. Because sometimes I know when you're in a room full of people that don't look like us, it gets frustrating and we can easily forget sometimes. So in the next slide, that is my son. I was going to tell you a story. Funny stories, man. When we first moved to Winnipeg, it was the first time my kids ever been in the South. Okay? This is the South. They'd never been among grass. They'd never been among trees. And we were like, oh, how come they're in the way, these trees? We can't even see anything. True story. Jack was going to daycare, 2 years old. My son, Iqniga, Pigatana. He's named after my grandmother Minnie. And naming a child is very important in our culture, okay? And so he's Jack Ikhalluk. And Minnie Alakkarelak, my grandmother, had polio as a young girl, so she couldn't speak, she couldn't run. But she said that when she has namesakes, they will do all the incredible things she couldn't do. So Jack Ikhalluk was in my belly when my grandmother Minnie was taking her last breaths. She was dying. And where we're all going to go. And this was a very hard part for me because she was my best friend. And so Jack is named after Minnie Alakkarelak. And when we first moved to Winnipeg, okay, I was working at APTN, Aboriginal People's Television Network. Woo! True story. I love my friends. It's so nice to see all of you. Yeah. So I was coming home from work at APTN. And the daycare is across the street from my house. Don't ask me how I pulled that off. The realtor was amazing. I didn't even know okay, Queenston Street, really nice street. Jack's mom! And I was like, yes! I start running because they're running for, Jack's mom! We need to talk to you. So I'm running. Is my son okay? She was like, oh, yeah, don't worry. We were just at the Winnipeg Zoo, and Jack was telling all his friends and us that tonight when it gets dark, and he's going to want to come back and unlock the gates and let the polar bears free and shoot them. And I was like this. Really? I was so proud, and she just went like this. And that's where our connection in learning about each other began, with Jack's daycare and the school with my kids. Okay, fast forward. This is my son. He's now 20. Wait, go back a little bit. He's wearing the polar bear pants that he caught the polar bear with. He's wearing the pants. It took a lot of work to clean, stretch, clean again, sew, and it took a whole community. And this is him at the Flowage seal hunting. So a round of applause for my boy. He called me. He texted me earlier. Hey, Anana, you got money so I could go buy gas to go hunting? Oh, of course, my son, anything for my boy. So yes, next picture is his namesake. That's Minya Lakkarelak. That's my grandmother, my best friend. I grew up with her, Unilingo Inuktitut speaker. I was her interpreter. So after she was sent to the high Arctic, there was a lot of people that came through the community of Resolute Bay. Explorers, judges, church leaders. Oh my God, can you recognize her boots? You recognize those, is it Stager winter boots with the canvas on the calf? A lot of people, she helped design that pair. Yeah, she's so cool. She was always welcoming, regardless of the circumstances. She was not bitter. And so a former CBC reporter, who is now the husband of the first Inuk Governor General of Canada, yes, so proud of her. They flew through Resolute Bay when I was a little girl to get to Canada's most northern community, which is Grise Fiord, our relatives that were forcefully to move up there too. He told me recently, when I was a guest at Rideau Hall, I was like, oh my God, I don't even have the right clothes. Staying at Rideau Hall, that was an experience in itself. He told me that when I was a little girl, I asked a lot of questions about what does it take to be a reporter? What does it take to be what you do? And this is a non-Inuk man who noticed something about my curiosity. And his wife, Her Excellency Mary Simon, my hero, first Inuk woman I ever saw as a little girl on TV. I was a little girl in Resolute Bay, and when we had TV, we had one channel, CBC. They recently welcomed me into their very big home, and that's how Inuit are. That's how we are as Indigenous people. We are very welcoming. And thank you, everyone, for having welcomed us. Thank you, Winnipeg. Thank you, everyone here who prepared our meals, who prepared this meeting, who, everything about it. I was saying, it feels so good. Because sometimes in many years that I worked in broadcasting, I felt so intimidated to be in a room full of people that didn't look like me. And so when I came here, it was like, Nakomeg. So Nakomeg, that is Minialakagalak. She's watching over me from the heavens above with Mother Teresa. I know they're dancing with Elvis. True story. She liked Elvis. The next slide. When we say gratitude for our food, we, as Inuit from Nunavik, we say, yay! And that is to show how appreciative we are of food. My family was relocated to the high Arctic. This is Resolute Bay. This is the graveyard. This is where she lies now with my grandfather and all my relatives that didn't survive. The federal government used us as human flagpoles. And I'm so proud of the resiliency and the know-how of my grandparents, Anansiara at Atsiaralu. Sa pirnatualu yaraluak tumitak tualomi in the complete darkness, they survived. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what an Inuk human flagpole looks like. Cute, huh? In all seriousness, a ship took our families and literally dumped them on the shores of Cornwallis Island, shores of Resolute Bay, from their beautiful home in Nunavik. And the late Raingi, who was my grandmother's really good friend, who landed in Grise Fiord, she said it was like landing on the moon. Literally. My friends, in Resolute Bay and Grise Fiord, the sun goes down in October and disappears for months. Till February. First week of February, we see the sun again. The next slide, you'll see. That's Resolute Bay when the sun is about to come up. But from October to January, it's dark. And so we're going to honor those who survived before us. And so Anansiara, Minialakarelag, in this little town that she was forcefully moved to, when the sun finally came up, she would take her telephone, you know those, now I'm aging myself, you know the phones where you dial all long, going like this, like 979. She would call us, and this is how she welcomed the sun. Siqinik nuilingman khamallamillo makititsi kutinililingman makiliritsi man mana hangutu sila makilit si mana sinitu sila. And the lyrics go, wake up, you sleeping souls. The sun and the gods are shining upon us. Wake up. And then she'd hang up the phone before we could even say anything. And then call the next family member. God rest her soul. That's Resolute Bay. And growing up in Resolute Bay, 180 people. That's all I knew. Sometimes it was really scary, but it was so much fun. It was all that we knew as children. And you will understand, alcohol was introduced to our parents, but my grandmother was a safe home. And this is what we need to be, safe homes. And I followed her first footsteps to the point where my kids ask me now, Anana, remember that time you took that homeless guy and he was living in our shed and we had our cousin in the crawl space and the couple on the couch, and our cousins going to school, So another value, we take care of each other. We have to take care of each other. In the next picture, these are the elders that I had the honor to perform with on Nunavut Day. Nunavut Day is we celebrate when we separated from the Northwest Territories because we wanted to govern our own. As Inuit, we wanted to govern ourselves. And so much like many of our communities, I understand and you understand, they're infested with alcohol and drugs. But you know what? We managed to get up and smile at each other. And even if someone's homeless on the street, they smile at us. We greet each other. We're empathetic because we all know our own stories. These are very important traits. So I want to mention in that session with Rhonda Levaldo, did I say your name right? You mentioned the importance of indigenous values at the Haskell Nation, Indian Nation University. And when you read your school mandate to us at the session, I understood it. And this was in that session on developing community partnerships to support indigenous journalism. It's so important. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your mandate. Our stories need to be told by us. They're about us, for us, because we are different. And how we communicate with and approach our elders is out of complete respect. That's another value. We respect. And I so love this about us. And Kim Wheeler and Karen Pugliese, a few days ago, and when you were talking about your podcast, we were in the session taking your podcast to the next level. You talked about how you had to be careful and respectful to the elder that you wanted in your podcast, right? And so our elders have been through so many changes in their lifetime. They've gained that respect. So that's another value that we have to always remember as indigenous people in the media. In the next slide, this is me visiting the Elder Center in Iqaluit. Since this photo, just maybe 7 years ago, one of them is left. The one sitting up, Ukaliqitiak's mom, is the only one left of these beautiful women. I'm just going to keep that up while I talk about the newsroom in Iqaluit where I worked at CBC. Iqaluit is the capital of Nunavut. CBC North was my family. And I want to give a round of applause to my former colleague and my very good friend, Juanita Taylor. She was the first Inuk to host the National on CBC TV. I'm so proud of her. I am so proud of her. So she was going to school here in Winnipeg when I moved to work for APTN. And a huge thank you to my family at APTN. We always stay connected, and the laughter is contagious. Just ask Cheryl. Just ask Cheryl the stories we had. Don't do it in here, though, because her laughter is louder than mine. Yeah. So still work very hard in making sure that every single day our stories are told by us, and we continue to break the molds and asking people in the industries to make room for us, because we can and we will, but we must continue to support each other. Okay? Our achievements and successes, when one indigenous person succeeds, we all succeed. That is no doubt. Oh my God, I'm going to tell you another funny story. Okay, so in Iqaluit at our station, we get a lot of young people from J school just coming out from J school, and they want to fit in. But what we love about CBC Iqaluit is it's majority Inuit. And so this is a young guy, and he wants to fit in, and he goes, "What do you call an Eskimo peeping Tom?" And we are like, "What do you call an Eskimo peeping Tom?" And he was like, "Yeah, what do you call an..." Okay, he goes, "And what do you call an Inuk peeping Tom?" Okay, he's trying to be political correct. And so we go, "What?" We already know what he's going to say, okay? So he goes, "Can you guess what do you call an Inuk peeping Tom?" Tommy took a look. Tommy took a look, he said, and we all went, "The guy from Sanikilok? It's a name." Tommy took a look at the last name in Sanikilok, and he went red. But we love them anyways, okay? We're gonna love them. We're gonna love them anyways. That's the other value. We love them regardless. The next slide, I think. So I didn't put it in this one, but this is fine. We are only flying communities in Nunavik, in the Inuit communities, and it costs a lot of money to get and to visit each other. So I just want to share with you, to go from Resolute Bay, where I'm from, in the high Arctic, I'd have to fly to Iqaluit, to Ottawa, from Ottawa to Winnipeg. One person, me, return, guess how much? I can't hear you. $10,266.75. One airline. So, radio and television still play a huge role in staying connected with our communities and one another. And I want to share this story with you. My first experience on a Nordair plane that flew to Resolute Bay took me and my friends, little kids, to Frobisher Bay, what is now known as Iqaluit, for the Baffin Summer Games. We were so excited. We were so excited. And when I got into the plane, I sat down, and I'm in awe, like I'm in a jet. And I'm sitting there, and I'm already very excited, and I see this most beautiful woman. Beautiful teeth, beautiful hair, beautiful outfit. And she bends over like this, and she said, "Tsunami, imiro malangavit." And I was like, "What?" I looked up at her. "Kano? Tsunami, imiro malangavi." In Inuktitut, she asked me what I wanted to drink. And in that moment, that woman, the flight attendant, Eva, had no idea how she changed the course for my life. All of a sudden, I'm from this little town with 180 people in the high Arctic to, oh my God, I could be a flight attendant. So from then on, I was like wanting to be a flight attendant. So much so, my mother, when I went to high school in Pond Inlet, she called me and she was like, "Panik, first there's looking for flight attendants, Inuit flight attendants." I said, "Mom, I'm graduating in a year." So for those who were there when the dancers the other night, I understood Norman Chief when he said that bus driver in his neighborhood in the north end here when he saw him and wanted to thank him, I do that. I do that to Eva. I do that to Eva and thank her for opening my world, because we hold on to something and you don't realize sometimes how much our children, our young children, are watching us. And so now I have moms tell me that they were pretending to be me. Now I'm aging myself. They were pretending to be me when I was singing on stage and when I was on TV and radio. So remember, we are all role models. So my grandmother reminded me, be careful of what you say because our children are listening. My role model, Minialak Her Excellency Mary Simon, Flight Attendant Eva on Nordair. I've interviewed them all. And then some. I've been blessed by this. I was looking at the guy from Carleton University because my dream was to go to Carleton University when I went to Ottawa to take post-secondary courses to study the Nunavut land claims. But life happened and I got pregnant and I ended up back in Resolute Bay after I finished my courses. But I didn't want to grow up, I didn't want to raise my baby there. So I made it to Iqaluit. Iqaluit became my home. But speaking of homelessness, I was going to end up homeless if I didn't get a job with housing. And we have such a huge housing crisis that right now, instead of asking how much does the reporter job position make, they ask, does this job come with housing? And so I had 2 little girls when the job for a reporter came on CBC North. I was so happy. I was so happy. I got the job. I did everything they asked me to do. I became a reporter. My first story went national. I became the afternoon host, newsreader, morning show host, morning show host. 2 legends. There was an Inuk man who hosted the Inuktitut portion for 2 hours, and there was a non-Inuk woman who hosted the morning show for 2 hours in English. When they retired, I came in and I hosted a 4-hour show with 1 producer. Yeah. When Alyssa Noriga, did I say your last name right? From Good Morning Indian Country, when you said you worked so hard to come to NAJA, I was so proud of you. I felt it. I felt it. When you really want something, everyone, go for it. And be like Melissa Greenbly, her mentor from the University of Kansas, who helped Alyssa get here. Thank you. Invest in our young people like CBC North invested in me and like the University of Kansas invested in Alyssa. So hearing all the stories from the mouths of Inuit in Inuktitut is where I hosted the only supper hour news program that's available across Inuit Nunangat, across Canada. The only Inuktitut supper hour news program in Inuktitut. We translate the English text on our teleprompter. From English to Inuktitut, every single night we read the text and translate on the fly. We do it with pride. We do it with pride in the language that we represent. And so we do it. I did it so that people like my anansiak, just because she didn't speak any English doesn't mean we're going to leave her behind with the news of the day. So respect and pride in our languages. We have Inuit all across the circumpolar region. We have Inuit in Alaska. We have Inuit here in Canada. We have Inuit in Greenland. We have Inuit in Russia. In Canada, we have Inuit in Inuit Nunangat, all the way from Northwest Territories, from Tuktoyaktuk, all the way to the geographical center of Canada, Kamanittuq, Baker Lake, to my ancestral homes in Nunavik, Inukjuak, and to the beautiful Tungak Mountains in Labrador. That's a lot to cover in many dialects, given the huge size of Inuit homelands. We need more journalists, more Inuit journalists, more Indigenous journalists. So we need to support any programs and projects and go to places like Carleton University. And so I want to share with you before I end my welcome here that I'm Inuk. I'm very proud to be Inuk. And English is my second language. I learned to speak English at school, and I do very Inuk things. Like last month, I found out I'm going to be a mom, and everybody was looking at my stomach like, how? We like to adopt babies. So baby Anuki will be born in October. That's the same month I started working at CBC North 26 years ago. And guess what? My niece, her pukuluk, the one carrying her baby, she wants to study journalism. Yes, full circle or what? And my kids were so funny. They were like, Ma, what are your grandkids going to call her? Because I'm a mom to 5 beautiful kids. I'm a mom to 5 beautiful kids, 2 who were orphans. And I brought them in, and they taught me the beautiful things about life. They get up regardless of what they've lost. I have 2 grandkids, Saili ang Napik, Asakuka. They just moved to Greenland because their father is from Greenland. And I was like, apparently when you're a grandmother, you have to share your grandkids. So family is another value. Family is so important. And so I want to tell you how privileged I have been to travel the world with my music, because I'm also a throat singer. And Francine was like, when I told her, I was like, Fran, I want to come to NAJA. She's like, come, you want to throat sing? I was like, I don't remember the last time I throat sang. So I came for other reasons. So I've traveled the world with the music. I shared Inuktitut traditional songs, throat singing, and sharing who we are as Inuit. Because there's so many people that still don't know who we are. And so I went to Pond Inlet. I was sent to school. I went to residential school, believe it or not. I'm not even 50 yet. I went to residential school, but there we were also experiments. They wanted to see how we would survive in an Inuit community as opposed to a big center, as opposed to a big residential school. And you know what? It was not easy either, but I'm going to pick out the good things that came out of that. I learned traditional songs, traditional Inuit songs of that region. And you know how as Indigenous people we use humor. I think it's a coping mechanism because we're so traumatized. So I'm going to tell you a story about Payangok's song. Payangok was an elder. She was like, I'm short. I'm very short. And I met shorter people than me, and I was like, this is good. But Payangok was very short, and she was very proud to be Inuk. She didn't speak English, but she had heard about the whalers that came to our communities. And so can you imagine, you know how when there's fresh blood in town and you're just like, oh, it's so exciting when somebody new comes to your small community because you see that same faces every day. When a new face comes, you're just like, hello. It was like that too when they were in outpost camps. Let me tell you the story. So Payangok taught us a song about a whaler, not just a whaler, a black man, a black whaler came to this community, and this woman created a song about him. So when Payangok sang this song, we clapped along, and so the lyrics go, in English, the lyrics go, imagine Jackson and I dancing, ha-di-da-di-da-di-da. Imagine Jackson and I kissing, ha-di-da-di-da. Imagine if Jackson and I made love, ha-di-da-di-da. And this is how it goes. And you're going to clap along to Payangok song about her, not her, she's singing about it, about an Inuk woman who met this black man that came to their community. And a girl can dream. Jackson lu taina lu hadi dari momita lego no hadi dari ejigi yauga yakpogo khai hali dari momita lego no hadi dari Jackson lu taina lu hadi dari kuniksa lego no hadi dari ejigi yauga yakpogo khai hadi dari momita lego no hadi dari Jackson lu taila lu hari dari ungisa lego no hari da higi jao ga yak pogo khai hari la uraya lego no hari da Jackson lu taila lu hari dari kuyak sa lego no hari da higi jao ga yak pogo khai hari dari do the sa lego no hari da. Yes, she was excited. Iqaluit has been my home for many years, but I sent it out to the universe that I wanted to be closer to my family in northern Quebec where my grandparents had come from. Can we put that picture up, the first picture, guys? The black and white picture? Yeah, that one. So they longed for their families. And it's been a long time since we've been longing to be close to our families in northern Quebec, and I wanted to go there, and the universe answered me. So I'm now with Takamute Nipingat Incorporated. I'm based now in Montreal with our head office in Saint-Louis. It's an incredible group of Inuit and non-Inuit who collect stories for APTN, who collect stories for communities in Nunavik. And you know what? They've been doing that for as long as I've lived on this earth. That's almost 50 years. And I'm so proud to be a part of a group who is history making. And I have learned that I have a lot of cousins. So the other value is don't ever be afraid to try something new. Don't ever be afraid to move somewhere new. We're nomads, remember? Always moving us indigenous peoples. Yep. And so I'm finishing up, Francine. I know. So she's like clapping behind me. Hurry up, Mad. I've always imagined what and how different it would be, how different our stories would be if we weren't traumatized. We don't know any different because unfortunately we carried that trauma without knowing and without our parents knowing that they were passing it on to us, right? Sometimes we do it too without knowing that we're passing it on to our children. So I feel that the more we share our stories with each other, it's healing. When we're not marginalized, when we're given space, we're going to continue healing. Heal is that other word that we need to remember. I'm so proud to be amongst all of you cousins. My kid was like, I'm never going to date a guy from indigenous world because we might be related. Nee, whatever, kid. So I want to say this to you. If I could leave anything with you, it's get help if you need help. Talk to someone that you trust, because we carry so many heavy things sometimes. It's overwhelming. It gets overwhelming, and you don't need to. Just talk to someone you trust. Our ancestors led by example. Resiliency. Do not give up. Nakumik NAJA in Inuktitut is older sister from the man, from the male. Any man who has a sister would call her Naya. So congratulations to the new board. Thank you, Francine. She was my former TV director at APTN. I'm so proud of you. You're probably very happy I didn't fly in from Roslub Bay, because 10,000 bucks later, we got to listen to her. She's going past her time. Please let us never forget our indigenous values. We are love. You are love. I love you. Don't forget that. And so thank you for this opportunity to be here. Upi gusto nga ay sumay na ang iyong makialamino katikalutay ko tao vanito nakukmik ino katikitsya hatatatay mangat tay mangat, and oh my God, we're gonna watch William Prince. Have a great night, everyone. Congratulations to the award winners. Have a beautiful, beautiful night. Nakukmik. Okay, Franny, it's yours.
All right. Well, I don't even know how to follow that, man. Every time she says something good, I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk about that. No, I got to bring that up. A couple of things. I would have loved to have met your grandmother, man. And I remember those old phones, man. You'd try to make a long distance call, you'd be there for 10 minutes, man. But you know what really stuck in my mind is like, I'm just wondering, if I walk down the hallway, any floor on this hotel, I'm going to listen for hidey, 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 hide. And if I hear that, I'm going to laugh real loud. I'm going to go knock on that door. Hey. She said so many good things. I don't even know where to start. But you know, one of the things she said, she mentioned Alyssa's story. And there's Alyssa right there. I'm going to call her out for a second. How many of you know it's important for the young folks to get here to NAJA, the conference? Right? Come on, stand up with me here. Funding sometimes is an issue, and sometimes the organization/institution you're working with doesn't want to play ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm not naming any names, but it rhymes with KU. Hey, no, we've worked it out. Pray for them. Pray for Melissa here. It'll get done. But what I did not know is my sister Alyssa here lives in Oklahoma. She's from Oklahoma. So I'm pretty happy about that. Tell us what you did to get here.
Well, so you guys know Indian tacos. Well, we did an Indian taco sale. My mom, she's a trooper. Oh my gosh. She made so many Indian tacos and meat pies. I don't know if you ever watched Reservation Dogs, meat pies. There's basically like an Indian taco with some potatoes. It's jalapeno serrano peppers. We made them spicy. But my family is also from Oneida, Wisconsin. So the Oneida community came out and they bought my plane ticket basically. And you know how expensive that is internationally. And my passport, I've never had a passport. So all of that was in the 2-month span of creating. I made ribbon skirts. I made 6 ribbon skirts within 2 weeks. I did raffles, asked for my community to help support me. And Melissa, thanks for Melissa, helped get me here to figure out the logistics of being at NAJA.
Hey, we are so glad you were at Oh man, that's how important it was to one young woman to get here. I'm just going to tell you, how about that meal so far? Hey, give it up for the servers. Yeah, the cooks. And I'm telling you, did y'all get enough yet? If you didn't, me and Alyssa are going to be selling meat pies right over there at that door when we're done here. Some meat pies and some of that good red Kool-Aid. Hey, whole lot of sugar up in it. Just like you. Hey, how many of y'all have been to a diabetes awareness event? They serve up Hostess fruit pies and got donuts and fried bread. I'm like, hey, what are we doing here, man? I want to, Dinner and a show. Dinner and a couple shows. Well, let me keep it moving right along. I want to, we've got a performance by the Throat Singers, Chastity and Caramello Swan. You can make your way up here, girls. I should say ladies. Chastity is the assistant manager at, you can help me, what? Tunasugit, Western Canada's first Inuit Resource Center, based here in Winnipeg. She's performed on APTN's Indigenous Day Live and for the opening of an NHL game with her little sister, Caramello. Yeah, right here. Caramello works in Tungasugit. Ray. As a youth coordinator, she started throat singing with her mom when she was just a year old. Is that right? Chastity and Caramello are Inuk, and Ojibwe. They're Ojibwe families from Lake Manitoba First Nation. Give them a big hand, and let's hear some throat singing. You know, I didn't get... Tell me your name.
What?
Well, okay, we got Chastity, Carmelo. Who else we have here?
Keisha.
Keisha? Where are you from, Keisha?
Nunavut.
Nunavut, okay. Now that we got that cleared up, I'm going to get out of the way. The stage is yours. You want these ladies over here by this mic? Right here. Did I get this one too? This one?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Carmelo Swan, and I brought my youth here, Winnie. She just learned how to throat sing, and I'm very proud of her. Before we do some throat singing, I'm just going to tell an origin story of where throat singing came from. So a long time ago, Inuit lived in igloos, and there was different roles for different genders. The men's role was to go out and hunt, and the woman's role was to stay back, cook, clean, and teach the children right from wrong. Because of this, a lot of men wouldn't return home, and multiple things could have happened to them. They could have fell through the ice, got eaten by different animals, or gotten lost, and this was just the harsh reality. One day, two women went down to the ocean and they started mimicking different animal noises with their throats, and when they did this, they found that they attracted smaller animals. Nowadays, throat singing is two women, they're facing face to face, looking into each other's eyes, and the first person that laughs is a loser. So today, me, Chastity, and Keisha are gonna do some throat singing for you. The first song that we will be doing is the love song. Oh gosh. I won that one. The next throat song we're going to do, we all just learned today. Wait. Wait. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm so sorry. The next one, we also don't know the name to. But it's good, it's good. Clap if you like it. The next throat song we are going to do for you guys is the saw. The last song we're going to do is a breathing technique song, because if you don't breathe, you'll literally pass out. I'm so sorry, guys. So the whole thing that we were trying to do was offbeat each other. That's why we kept like stopping and then joining back in. It's supposed to make it sound like there's multiple different voices in there.
Thank you, lady.
Which one? Okay.
Thank you, ladies. Hey. I would have been straight out, dead, passed out. Straight, just smooth out. Oh, you remember how do we say thank you again in Arapaho? Ha ho. Ha ho. Everybody, tell them, ladies, ha ho. All right. All right, we got some business to get going. Come on, Patty. Come on, Patty. Is your mic on?
It's going to warm up a
There
little
it
bit.
goes.
It's warming up a bit. So we have, who has the time right now? It's about
7:45 yet?
7:45?
Y'all just got about 15 minutes, y'all.
Y'all, get out there. And there's also one item that's really a hot item, but it has a low bid.
Is that the
Democracy?
Democracy Boner? The Democracy Boner shirt is selling, working. What you guys, did you guys see that that NAJA, cool NAJA beaded medallion? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
What you don't know
these.
is there were plans for a Democracy Boner medallion, but they weren't sure how it was going to go over. Hey. They thought they'd send that one to Lucian. Hey. Hey, Lucian, look what we got for you, brother. Y'all did see the movie, right? We should all give Lucian a call, man. Lucian, brother. Slow down, man. Ease up a little bit, right?
They have 15 minutes or less to go bid, and you know you can bid from the comfort of your own table there. So again, it's benefiting the students.
The quilt
So you
needs help,
guys-
right?
Oh yeah, the quilt
The
is
Star
like,
quilt needs help. There's no bids on it, or very few.
It's not at its actual value yet. So we want to encourage you to, again, pull out your phones and start bidding on those items. You have less than 15 minutes before the bidding closes. So exciting. Wasn't that wonderful to hear from Madeline?
One more time. That's some skill. Wow.
And then Chastity and her group here. It's Chastity and her throat singing group, yes.
Yes, awesome, just
so
awesome.
wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. And that's the beauty of being able to share our native cultures, right? When you come to NAJA, you hear and you see other cultures that maybe we're not familiar with, being in Arizona and Oklahoma, right?
It's easy to get familiar with the tribes around you, but you go one state over, one province over, it's a whole different world, and it's a very beautiful thing. All right.
Should we
you
hand
guys
out
want to
our
hand out
first
some
big
awards?
award?
Who wants to win some stuff, right? Hey. All right. Let's, we want to kick this off and present the inaugural 2023 Tim Gagel Free Press Award. So we want to introduce our founder, Lauren Tapahe. Lauren, are you here, sir? Where's Lauren?
Oh, there you go.
There he is. Step up this way, sir. He has a visual aid. You're in for a treat.
Oh, that's great.
I guess apparently there's some preparation involved. That means you still got a couple minutes to go out, go bid something really fast. Don't take my student's shirt.
Okay, got it?
There's a really keen Sasquatch beaded medallion out there. I saw Becca carrying around. But I didn't have $100 in my pocket.
Sorry.
I'm going to call my wife up tonight and say, Heidi, hi. Heidi, hi. Or Lauren, do you want a handheld mic or do you want to use this one? Here we go.
I'll use all three.
Okay.
Hello, hello, hello. I'll use this one. Mic guy, wherever you are. Can you hear me? Do I need to speak louder? Can you hear me now? I'm kind of deaf. Can you hear me now? No, thank you for allowing me to be here. Lauren Tapahi. How many Navajos out there? Yeah. She Lauren Tapahi. Nanesthesia Tachini. Kinla Chitni Brushes Chin. So I come from Sehatodant, Nashaf, Window Rock, Fort Defiance, Arizona. So every time I get on a taxi or something, I always ask the driver where they're from. I was kind of waiting to hear the accent, the Canadian accent, when I got to the airport. Thank you for letting me say anything I want to say.
Of course.
Well, of course. I'm a founder, so I can do anything I want. Yeah! Ooh. So I got to the airport, and I love the Filipino people. I know a bunch of them down in Arizona. Then came the, I guess they call it East Indian people, and there was a couple other countries in there around India. I finally got a guy that didn't have those accents, but he was French. So he had a French accent. So I had waited about another few hours before I finally got to somebody that had that Canadian accent, eh? So happy to be here and happy to insult everybody. Thank you for allowing me to do this, the board. I'm the first vice president of the Native American Journalists Association. And hey, there's my cheerleader. And of course, Tim Gallego was the first president of Native American Press Association, which later became the Native American Journalists Association. And I hear today there's a new name. So it's okay with some, and I think and some are still a little, never mind. I missed the vote, so I can say anything I want. Well, they have me wanting to present the, trying to find the exact name. The inaugural 2023 Tim Gallego Free Press Award. So Tim and I had a lot of good times together, along with the other members of NAJA the first few years, making the organization kind of grow and getting people involved as much as we could. And before I go any further, I'd just like to take a moment to, actually a moment of silence. I want to read off some names of some of the board members that were founders and some that have passed along the way. Tim Gallego passed last year, age 88. Minnie Two Shoes passed in 2010. Yep, Minnie, age 60. Adrian Lewis passed away in 2018 at age 72. Richard Lacoris passed away in 2001 at the age of 62. William, or Bill Delaney as we called him, who the person that brought everyone together at Penn State, he passed away in 2019 at the age of 89. Sid Miller was the founder as well. He passed away in 2017 at age 90. A couple other names that I know of that are in the media business around Phoenix where I live. Andy Harvey He passed away at the age of 35. He worked for Channel 12 News as a news reporter. And others are Alan Newhart. He's the one that gave funding to NAJA. He passed away in 2013. But another name that some of us older ones will probably remember is Frank Blythe, Native American Public Broadcasting Association. He passed away in 2000, just this year, age 82. Michael Smith, the American Indian Film Institute, he passed away also at age 66 in 2018. So indulge me 5 seconds, just a moment of silence for them, because I think their spirit might be around here. So, and I think they're looking and listening to see what you're going to do and how you feel, that we respect our people that have passed and respect who we are. So 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Okay. Again, it's my honor, and I want to say thank you to the board for allowing me to be here and present this award for Tim, named after Tim. Many of you know of him. If you don't, let me tell you a little story. He had his newspaper in Rapid City, and the city was pretty racist. But he kept his paper going despite what was going on around him. And then one night he gets a call, went to his office, and it was burning. Somebody had firebombed his newspaper operation. Within a couple days, he was back up and printing. And the headline on that said, "You cowards, come out during the daylight. Come and see me during the daytime," I think it was. So he had a lot of unyielding spirit. He was fierce and a very straight shooter. He told it like it is. As one of the founders of the former Native American Press Association, which is now a little while ago, it was Native American Journalists Association. I think as of last night, it's now the Indigenous Journalists Association, which is fine with me. I know there's some out there that's going to talk to me later. And Tim Gallego, shaped the NAJA's mission. He was right there at the front, always giving his advice, always telling us a direction to go and how important the association is to be. He helped shape the mission of NAJA, which has always focused on uniting and empowering indigenous media. And he was a champion of all those ingredients, all those characteristics of a journalist: truth, balanced reporting, everything. He was part of that. The NAJA board created the award to honor his legacy of fighting for press freedom in indigenous communities. It is my honor to present this inaugural award to a person that I've known a long time. We met at a conference years ago, maybe at least 3 decades ago, I believe. And I've got pictures of this person as well, so you can see me later. Her name is Jody Rave Spotted Bear. Yeah. She was selected for her work as a citizen and journalist in holding the 3 affiliated tribes of Fort Buthole Indian Reservation accountable through her reporting on the tribal government, and raising awareness regarding its transparency issues. So, where did you go? Yeah, come on. Good thing I didn't tell those stories.
I think that's what you call jumping the gun. Okay. I can go ahead and. Should I go ahead and? Okay. Dashana Diskatsha. Greetings in the NAJA language. I'm from the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Rikara Nation in North Dakota. Excuse me, my father is Lakota from the Cheyenne River Reservation in South Dakota. So I went ahead and I wrote things down because I don't know if I will get another chance to really put this award in the language that it needs to be in. Yesterday, Duncan McHugh had mentioned that he was going to shorten up one of his speeches because he had already left everything on the floor. And this is really my first time putting this out on the floor, so I just want to thank everybody for just giving me this opportunity to share a few words about Tim Gallego, who he made his journey to the ancestral spirit world 1 year ago in July. I was there in the Black Hills when the thunder beings lit up the night sky hours before he died. The last time I saw him during his final hours was in a hospital bed. Last month, the family invited me to attend the first-year memorial of his death in Rapid City, South Dakota. They gifted me with a star quilt and said he would be proud to see me receive this inaugural Tim Gallego Free Press Award. To acknowledge this first-year memorial of Tim, I ask that we just all take a moment of silence. Thank you. So we all know Tim tried to retire several times, but he could never stop writing. He wrote until the final months of his life, only stopped when he was too sick to get to the office and sit at his computer. And that's really one of the last times I saw him in the office, is he was writing. Tim was 88 when he died. Tim left an empty seat in his newsroom, but his fourth weekly newspaper, the Native Sun News, and his legacy live on. I've had two significant Native media role models in my early life. In high school, one of my best friend's mother was the late Harriet Sky, a groundbreaking TV host with a talk show called Indian Country Today. It was based in Bismarck, North Dakota, where I now live. Tim would later name one of his independent newspapers, Indian Country Today, now known as ICT. So I grew up seeing a Lakota woman on TV and seeing local copies of an independent newspaper all around our local area where I lived, and then later all around the country. Tim founded the first independent weekly newspaper in the United States. He was a visionary. And he was an exemplary newsman who gave people a voice in his newspaper, and as an independent newspaper publisher, he used his media role to uphold and keep tribal governments accountable. It's this arm of reporting that can be most difficult for reporters covering tribal government. Reservation-based newspapers are often beholden to tribal governments for funding, office space, editorial oversight, and advertising dollars. I've worked for tribal media as a teenager. One of my first jobs was reporting for the MHA newspaper then that was called Ahead of the Herd. It's now called the MHA Times. And I did write for tribal, work for tribal media as an adult, not too long ago, actually. I've also worked for the mainstream press in Nebraska, Idaho, Utah, and Montana, but I always had the calling to return to my ancestral homelands in North Dakota. When I returned home to the Fort Berthold Reservation, I became the director of our tribe's radio and newspaper. Working within the tribe, I knew there was a lot of information being kept from me and tribal citizens. I had several disagreements with tribal leadership. They ranged from reporting on budgets to being denied requests for media packets so our reporters could better report on tribal council agenda items. After being filed for insubordination, if you saw bad press, me and Angel have something in common there. So after that particular incident, I knew there was more that had to be done, not only to reflect the views of the tribe's citizens, but to hold the tribal government accountable. So I started the Indigenous Media Freedom Alliance, a nonprofit media organization. We publish independent digital news on a site called Buffalo's Fire. And yeah, it's nice to be in a crowd where you don't really have to explain Buffalo's Fire, but I will at a later point to give you the background. But it is the translation in the Nuita language for the tiger lilies, and which grow on the northern plains, and it was something that my mother, those were her favorite flowers, and they grow all around us, and so I wanted to name our site in her memory. Yeah, I shouldn't have brought that up. But well, anyway, we did start the website Buffalo's Fire, and Tim Gallego had made running a newspaper look easy, but it's actually a lot of hard work, and I think everybody in here can attest to the incredible amount of work that it takes to get out there in our communities and do it accurately and hit deadlines and work with new people, and I could go on that. But for those of us who saw the Bad Press Democracy, or the Bad Press documentary, press freedom in Indian country, as we know, brings a lot of challenges. So Bad Press reminds us that only 5 of 574 federally recognized tribes have press freedom protections written into their tribal governance structures. So our elected leaders across the country do not provide our communities with access to open records. We lack access to tribal freedom of information laws, unlike existing federal FOIA and state laws. The revered Native scholar, Vine Deloria Jr., reminds us of the 3 pillars of tribal sovereignty. 1 is self-determination. 2 is protecting our sacred places and our sacred sites. And the 3rd one is tribal sovereignty means that tribal leaders should act in accordance to the will of the people. But what happens when our own governments starve us from information? Information is essential in our lives in so many areas. Individuals and organizations need information quickly for a wide number of reasons, including research, trends, and to stay economically competitive. We need accurate information to make informed decisions, including decision-making, learning and education, innovation and creativity, communication, personal growth, safety and security, health and wellness, social and cultural development, and economic development. So one of my press freedom colleagues, Angel sitting over there, said earlier today during one of her panel presentations that she would not want to be the person who had to fight a tribe in federal court or the US Supreme Court in order to take on press freedom issues. And I think it's well acknowledged that if our cases do go into the courts of the conqueror, that we risk losing some aspect of sovereignty that could severely weaken our status as nations. But I told Angel that she wouldn't have to go to the Supreme Court because one of our Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara Nation citizens just did that. She filed a petition with the Supreme Court on July 3rd. And I'll explain what this means to us. So Lori Bird is an enrolled citizen of the 3 affiliated tribes, and she was denied records and information from the Mandan and Hidatsa and Arikara Nation. She needed those records in order to resolve a business dispute. She made pleas for just compensation in district court and the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals. The courts ruled in favor of the tribe and determined that the tribe had a right to sovereign immunity, meaning they could not be sued and she could not be compensated for the loss of millions of dollars in a failed business joint venture agreement with the tribe. So the legal question, the legal question before the U.S. Supreme Court right now is, does inclusion of a mandatory arbitration clause in an agreement with an Indian tribe waive the tribe's sovereign immunity? This case is seen as a double-edged sword. Should the court accept this petition, it could strengthen individual and business rights, but it could dilute tribal sovereignty. And that would happen, it would affect tribes across the country. So the Bad Press documentary provides a clear outline of how democracy works when you have proper governance standards in place. But not at all tribes operate like this. We have 574 federally recognized tribes in the United States, and we're constantly reminded that no 2 tribes are alike. So moving forward, we need to work on the steps for freedom of information and press freedom in Indigenous communities. That means journalists, media organizations, and tribes need to evolve and elevate tribal governance standards across Indian country, because 5 tribes out of 574, we've all agreed that this is a piecemeal acceptance of freedom of information laws, and we don't have time for that. We need a really large movement to take place. So we need tribal leadership and press freedom discussions to take center stage. Good governance means tribes uphold all 3 pillars of tribal sovereignty. So press freedom is about good governance. Thank you. Washita Hedish.
I'm the founder, so I can interject right here. I want to make sure we recognize as well those out there that have served on the Native American I guess, Journalists Association. Raise your hand. Let's see who you are. I know some are out there. All right. You're supposed to yell and say, that's me, yeah. Oh, come on, yeah. Yeah, you, well. And how many served as president of NAJA? I know Mark did, and Brian. We have two over here, presidents. Okay. And I think I see a former director of NAJA, Pam. Is that you? Stand up, Pam. Executive director. Yeah. Yep. Do we have any other executive directors of NAJA? One right there, but yay. Well, having been to the first NAJA meeting and other times, being on the board a couple times as well, I gathered a lot of photos. And these photos are all during the daytime of the conference. I took some nighttime ones, but I did not include those, so don't worry, Patty and all of you out there. So just like to do a little unveiling of this. A copy of this is this could be 18 by 24 framed. It's going to be sent over to the auction. So if you want to buy a copy, you have to turn your head a little bit to see it. One, three, go. Woo! We had all these pictures, or I had all these pictures, and so I got with one of my designers and said, let's put something together. So we came up with this. It's great to know that all of you are honoring the founders. That all of you are working together to help NAJA grow, Indigenous Journalists Association grow. So this is my offer to the board and to NAJA to put up another one in your office. Again, a copy of this at an 8.5 by 11 framed is going to be at the auction or in the silent auction table. So if you want to get a copy of that, come out to the auction table. Thank you.
We have something for you too.
Oh.
This really is a wonderful gift. How do we say thank you, ladies, in Hopi? Esquili, right? So Esquili, Lauren, thank you so much for sharing. You know, he really has taken a lot of photos, and he probably has some, photos that can be revealing through the years. But yes, it will be available for a download, so every one of you can take it home once it's up on the website there, and you can take a look of that. That's very, very nice. Lauren, thank you again, Esquili. We really appreciate that gift. And congratulations again to Jody for her award as the inaugural Tim Gallego Free Press Award winner. The silent auction is over. After the event, you can go outside and pay for your items and pick them up and take them home. So thank you so much for bidding and for contributing to the education of our future NAJA journalists. Thank you so much. Our next award is named for Elias Boudinot, and it is the Free Press Award that recognizes a news organization that has shown dedication and commitment to upholding freedom of the press, information, and transparency in Indigenous communities. Up next to present the 2023 NAJA Elias Boudinot Free Press Award is Karen Poulet. Karen?
Oh, good. They've got a little riser up here for short people. Cheryl. They were thinking of us. Before I get into it, I want to just say I was told I was allowed to personalize this. So, Kwei. And I want to teach you something from my community. We don't actually clap in my community when we honor somebody. We bang on the table. It's noisier. And Brent Jolly is here, and he's laughing because APTN, when we used to go into the CAJ or any of the mainstream awards, we'd bang on the table, and everybody would know that APTN was in the room. The other thing we do is we hoot or we holler or we give some sort of woo or something. So I encourage you, when this team gets up, when Cheryl gets up in a minute, to do all of that for her and APTN. And I want to say one more thing. In the early days of APTN, like that spirit was there and has always been there, and I believe that was a big contributing factor in their winning this award tonight. You know, the very first slogan for APTN News, and Jim will remember this because he was part of making that spirit along with Dan David, was, if our reporters had been there, history would be a different story. They're being honored tonight because their reporters are there and they are changing history. So it is absolutely my honor to present this award on behalf of NAJA, which is now IJA. Now, APTN is the second outlet to win this award for the second time. They were selected for their ongoing for their ongoing coverage of the Soto sisters, Nerissa and Odelia Quaisance. They were wrongfully convicted of second-degree murder in 1994. They were approved for a ministerial review in July 2022, and shortly afterwards, their lawyer applied for bail. A bail hearing was held for them in November 2022, during which the Saskatchewan Crown prosecutors requested a publication ban. APTN and their lawyer fought that publication ban, saying that media has a crucial role. The media plays a crucial role in cases of wrongful conviction. Justice Donald A. agreed and denied the publication ban, saying that APTN News was the genesis of the story that led to the nationwide coverage. APTN was also the 2019 recipient of this same award for their response to the Indigenous-led occupation of Muskrat Falls. So congratulations, APTN, for winning the Elias Boudinot Free Press Award. Please come up and accept the award. Cheryl McKenzie, Executive Director of APTN.
I want to ask actually all the APTNers, can you come up here please and share this with me, because this, including you, Rick, I see you back there. If you come up on the stage, come up here. I want everybody to see you, because there's our newsroom could not function with everybody pulling together to do the work. Yes, I want to see everybody here. Yeah, thank you. Come on up. These are all the current APTN people in the room, and there's lots of former APTN people in the room, and it just really makes me proud to work with everybody every day. And like I said before, I find my strength in their work. Absolutely. And Jim Compton, absolutely, who has helped us launch our network and our newsroom and brought it into being. And just like to thank you very much to my colleagues with APTN News. Yes. Yeah. Francine, longtime APTNer. Thank you, Francine.
Thank you guys.
Yes. Woohoo! Yeah. Miigwech NAJA. Oh, Aja.
You know, I give a really big hand for our guys, our AV guys over here, keeping us on. Got the teleprompter, got the mics working, even when we almost had a mishap over here. So I work in TV, and I love guys like that, man. They make the world go round, man. I just know that when they saw all those people coming up, I saw that guy's eyes get really big. Like, did we brace this stage enough, man? I'm so glad to hear someone talk about being vertically challenged, because I think I count myself in there, man. You know, Patty is Hopi and I'm Pueblo, and what I mean by that is we're shorts, all right? The word short. Did y'all hear about that new Pueblo amusement park? Yeah, and right outside Santa Fe, man, they got water rides and roller coasters. The only thing is every ride says you must be under this tall to ride this ride. Oh. I just made that one up. Did you guys hear about the guy who was part Chickasaw? He was part Potawatomi and part Paiute. He went to go get a CDIB card that said chicken pot pie. Hey. I got a cousin, he's part Choctaw and part Chippewa. You know what we call him? Chocolate chip. I'm so sorry. I had to do it. I could not help myself. Okay, well, this next award recognizes groundbreaking. Let me try that again. This next award recognizes groundbreaking work by journalists who creatively use digital tools in their role as community watchdogs. This award also includes a cash prize, hey, for the individual or team selected. Special consideration is given to journalism that helps a community understand and address important issues. Richard Louie, thank you. Richard Louie is an anchor with MSNBC. He's also an author. Please welcome Richard to present our next award. Richard, welcome to the stage.
Okay, I'll use the riser. Why not? Chocolate chip. I always thought I told bad dad jokes. You and I have to go on the road, baby. We do. We'll get the most charity laughs that has ever been seen. You know, I got to say, this is only my second NAJA, but I want to thank everybody here for sharing your cries and your laughs with all of us. It's such an important convention. And though I'm here as a representative of NBCU, along with Alyssa and the rest of Table 21, I did not tell them to make noise. Along with Table 21, I'm also a member of the Chinese and Polynesian American community, and I am an ally of what NAJA stands for in its 40 years of hard work. And so, for all the allies here of what NAJA represents, please bang your table. Yay! Yes, NAJA, Eskuli for your generosity. Yes. Now, the 2023 Major Awards Committee selected a colleague of ours, Graham Lee Brewer. For his story on the Lakota Language Consortium over access to recordings of Ray-taken alive's grandmother speaking their language as part of a project to generate a standardized Lakota dictionary, and textbooks. As many of you are familiar with, Taken Alive asked for the recordings after she died from COVID-19 in 2020 and learned that the consortium had unrestricted permission to copyright and publish them according to the agreement that she signed. Those tapes were eventually provided, but this raised a very important issue. The tribe had helped fund and support the project, but was now required to pay for the access to its own culture. Well, after receiving the tapes, Taken Alive uploaded their content for other citizens to use. And along the way, the consortium issued a copyright infringement notice against Taken Alive. He took to social media and other ways to raise awareness. The tribe eventually voted to banish the consortium and implement intellectual property rights. That issue was first received and known and got broad attention thanks to Graham's hard work. And it raised the issue of indigenous data sovereignty for all of us to understand. This is a story, and many more like it, that Graham Brewer has fought to tell, not only at the time that he has worked for NBC News, but for many years before. And many of the leaders, when I was talking about Graham before I knew I had to come up and have the honor to be here, I said, so tell me about Graham. All right, tell me the good stuff. I joke. It was all good stuff. And they said that at 30 Rock and throughout our community, he's known for not being afraid to say what is right, and in a way that helps us all get better. And we have gotten better. We have a long way to go, thanks to Graham. And we're glad to call him a well-respected colleague and a good friend. It is my personal honor on behalf of NAJA, with large hugs from the entire NBC Universal family, to introduce to all of you the 2023 Richard LaCourse Award for Investigative Journalism. He is an award-winning NBC News national investigative reporter. Ladies and gentlemen, Graham Lee Brewer.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Richard, for that. It means a lot to me to have the support of my colleagues at NBC. I appreciate you, so thank you. Oh, what's the last time you're going to have to see my face? About to get out of here, taking the first plane back to Oklahoma. Our languages are so important, and not just because they're a part of our identities or because they inform our sense of nationhood, but because they tell us in their own words how our ancestors interpreted the world around them and how they saw themselves in relation to it. But just like our ceremonies and traditions and stories, our languages have also been the subject of extraction and appropriation. And because of that, they need to be protected. One of the hurdles we have as Indigenous journalists is explaining the stakes to readers outside of our communities. And that was certainly true with this investigation. But working on this story, I learned that there were many people within Indigenous communities who didn't understand the stakes themselves. The American laws that tribal nations and Indigenous communities must live within today were never designed to protect our languages. And unfortunately, what I found working on this piece was there were many people, whether they were first language speakers, elders, and sometimes even tribal leaders themselves, who had little experience dealing with intellectual property law and were therefore vulnerable. What may seem like a helping hand to some Indigenous communities can often have strings attached that create avenues for extraction and that, although potentially harmful, are perfectly legal. That's a dynamic we've seen play out all too often in our communities. And as one Indigenous IP attorney told me for the story, data is the new oil. My hope with this investigation is that it sheds light on what will undoubtedly be a fundamental part of how we teach and protect our languages in this digital world we live in today. And I hope the story of the Lakota people trying to preserve their language for future generations is instructive for Indigenous communities across the continent who may someday find themselves relying on an outside force to strengthen and preserve their language. I want to say, Wado, thank you to the Lakota people who trusted me with their story, and to the indigenous peoples across the country who contributed to my investigation by sharing their knowledge and experiences with me. I could not have done this story without them, because just like their language, that story belongs to them. Thank you.
I'm out of dad jokes. Thank God. Thank God. Congratulations, Graham. Man, that dude, man, he's just good. He's damn good, man. That's all I can say. I mean, whoo. Love you, man. So, now we continue the celebration of great journalism across Turtle Island. The 2023 National Native Media Awards recognizes the excellence, creativity, and impact, impact, baby, of indigenous journalism. This year, we received more than 800 entries from across the U.S. and Canada from journalists working in tribal and mainstream media. So thank you to our judges for reviewing all the submissions. I've done that before. It takes a little time. Normally, this is the place where we introduce Michelle Sourjohn, she's with the AARP Oklahoma, the AARP who has been calling me, wanting me to join, and I said, hey, give me a minute. So Michelle let us know that recently that she wouldn't be able to make it, but she normally gives out the tribal elders the word about the presentation, the word about the coverage of tribal elders. The Elder Coverage Awards are given to extraordinary journalists from across Turtle Island. I'm especially honored to be presenting these awards tonight on behalf of AARP. That their mission is to enhance the quality of life for all as we age. That includes all of us. AARP leads positive social change through its members. Their vision is a society in which everyone ages with dignity and purpose, in which AARP helps people to fulfill their goals and dreams. Tonight we're honored to present the NAJA AARP Elder Coverage Awards to those winners, along with a cash prize for each. So the winners who are in attendance, please come to the stage to pick up your award. Do they know who they are? Do I have to read the names? You know what? Let me just read them off, because I want to do this right. If you win a little something, you ought to get a little recognition. You know what I'm saying? Can we get a Marjorie Kitty and Susan Bell? Are you here? Are you here? Yeah. Is Carol Craig here? I know this guy's here. Will Chavez? Will, step on up. You can, yeah, hurry, hurry, hurry. Oh, wait a minute, Francine Compton. Ho, ho, ho. Kelsey Kilana. And I did see Jacqueline Estes. I saw Jacqueline a minute ago. Okay, you folks step up real quick. We'll get a picture taken, then we will keep on moving. Because somehow we did end up on end in time, and it wasn't my fault. But I'll take the blame. You can blame it on me. Oh, while we're waiting, I want to throw some Choctaw at you. How to say thank you in Choctaw. Here's another. It's Ya, Ko, Ki. Yakoki. Yakoki. I have one more time for these guys. Yakoki. Yay, yay. Where's Patty? She told me she had some breaking news. Where did?
Look to your far left.
Oh, there. The breaking news is way over there.
We have breaking news here tonight because we are journalists here, right? And the breaking news is that Lauren Tapahi, one of our founders, has offered this framed poster of the one that we showed earlier. There's two actually. This one is going for auction live starting right now. And my lovely assistant here, I can lower it so we can see your face. This is Andre Morisseau, a former NAJA board member.
Woo! Love you. And we're doing this because we're tall.
Yeah. So we're going to walk through the room here. And where did Darren go now? I lost you, Darren. So you're going to look out for the bids. And we are going to start this out at $10. So you're going to.
You know what we need?
We
need like one of those guys, a spotter guys who says, "Hup, hup."
Well, that's you.
Oh,
So
okay.
Andre, let's start in the back. And let's show people. Do we have any bids? Raise your hand.
come
We're
on,
only
somebody.
starting at $10.
Come on,
$10
somebody.
right
Over
there.
here.
$10.
Aaliyah,
Who's next
Aaliyah.
one? Over here. How much? $20 right there. We're going up by 10. $30. Who else do we have? $40 over there. $40. Who else do we have? Wave it, Andre. Wave it. Work it, man. How about these guys?
Here, we got 30
Big
back
money
here.
at. Oh, look. Tristan
Now we
Acho's
got
here.
somebody got 40.
Big
We got
money.
40.
Big money.
40 right here. We got 40 over here.
$40. Okay,
now
who
we're
else
looking
do
for
we
50.
have?
50.
How much
over
money?
here.
$50.
$60
$60
over here. Woo!
Right on.
Come on,
$60.
somebody.
Big money.
We got
Where's
70?
the big money
We got
over
70.
here? $70.
70 over there.
Who else do we have?
Do we have
Wave
80?
it,
Oh,
Andre.
yeah,
Wave
look at
it.
We got 80.
Show $80.
You wanna keep going to
$90.
90? We got 90.
$90. Come on,
Anybody
NAJA
got,
people.
anybody got a cool 100?
Come on, journalists.
Anybody got a C note? I have a C note over there.
$100. Okay, who's going to beat Brian Pollard?
Who wants to do 125?
120.
125.
130. 130.
140?
Who else? 140. 140. 140.
Yeah, 150.
Right on. Framed poster.
150.
How much? Oh, I thought you were holding up your hand. Who else do we have here? Who else? How much? What do we have? 140? 160. 160. Come on, big money, big money.
Anybody
Dig
got
in your
170?
pockets right here. Ooh, looks like big money right
We're
here.
talking 170. Looking for 170. Looking for
What do we have?
170.
Oh, we're 170.
Looking for 170.
Where's the New York Times?
Where's the New York Times?
Going
We're
once.
gonna be calling out the companies. Who else?
Oh,
180, 180, 180, New York Times.
180 back there.
Oh, 190, 190 back here.
190. Who's got what? We got
190.
190
Woo! Wow, $200. $200.
Who wants? Where's Taryn? We got two.
220. How much?
Oh Lord, we got 250.
250. Brian Pollard. 250. Brian Pollard. What you got in your pockets, Brian?
360.
There's no layaway, by the way.
Are you kidding me?
250. I don't know.
Autographed.
You want to call it?
Where's the New York Times? 260. $260 for the frame poster of NAJA founders, NAJA members. 260.
260.
How much is over here? 270.
270.
Come on, NBC. NBC's in the
crazy
house.
up in
Big
here.
money, big money. Hi, Richard.
Are you doing 280?
How you doing, Richard?
280.
270 what he said.
He
Don't-
280.
this ain't Price is
Darren,
Right, baby.
280.
280 over
280. New York Times, back to you.
We're good.
300. 300 for the New York Times.
300?
$300.
Oh.
Woo!
300.
Where's the Cherokee Phoenix? Where? How much? 450? Throw 350.
350.
$350.
350. Call Lucian. See if he'll do
Wait,
400.
wait a minute. Wait a
350.
minute. We have to clarify. This is American dollars, guys.
That guy said, I thought it was pesos. Hey. 350, 350.
Okay.
It's going
you know
once.
what? No, wait a minute. There's more breaking news.
Okay.
There's more breaking news. Okay.
$1,000 here.
Oh, yeah. Because you know what, Andre?
We have to finish this thing sometime.
Now,
we're looking for
what we've added to this is that the NAJA board will sign it, as well as Lauren, the founder.
We will get as many
A
folks to sign it as
signed,
possible.
unique, one-of-a-kind poster. So now
Now
what
we're
are we
looking at
here?
let's
We're
call
at
it
350? 370.
Who's
Do
got
we have 370?
For the autographs. Anyone 370? I know there's one. Oh my goodness. $400. $400 for the band.
$400.
400.
$400. New York Times?
Damn good.
MSNBC? What are the tribal? What?
Do we already ask if Shaka P was here?
APTN?
Dollars.
Big money.
CB
Are we?
cash.
There you go.
No, I said CBC, C for cash.
See, oh yeah. Who do we have, Mr.
We're sitting at
Politicos
400.
in the
No,
house?
are that 400? Is that where we are?
Great. How are you?
Wonderful.
What?
What's that?
Sacred Four, she said. In a good way like that. 400, 400, 400, 400.
400.
Anyone want to do 410s?
Okay, Andre's going to work this side of the
Anyone wanna
room.
do 410?
We got $400.
401.
400? Four? Okay.
We're going to change all the rules of
Okay, we're sitting at
Okay.
400. Is there anyone that can do 410?
NBC
410?
All right, you guys want to go with it? You guys want to go with it?
400.
Let's do going once.
Yeah, where's Leverance?
Where's Leverance?
Where's Leverance? Did he
Going
walk out of
twice.
the room? Where's Dan Leverance? We're calling out names now.
5, 4,
Because we're bad like that.
3,
400. $400. Are we good?
1, 4. Sold the 4.
Sold to the lady. The bad press lady. Woo! Yeah. Woo! You have it. That's the best looking poster I've ever seen.
I still say we ought to give it to Lucian.
And how do we say? And how do we say thank you again? Mado. Just say it in whatever language you speak, your tribal language. 1, 2, 3. Let's say thank you. Esqueli. Sangopi. That's so good.
Can I go sit down now for a minute? Okay.
we're both out
really
of shape.
Really quickly, yeah, right. Okay.
You take it away, Dan.
Here it is. It's time to recognize the 2023 National Native Media Awards Division winners. Winners, you may pick up your plaques at the awards tables following the conclusion of this program, which may or may not happen anytime soon. And don't forget to take photos with your awards at the logo walls, and the 360 photo booth is still set up, I believe. It's really cool. You got to see mine. Hey, it does a good job of making you look good. So we have a cool little scroll, and you got to look really quickly because it moves, because we got a whole bunch of winners. So we're going to let you take a look at that. Everybody, have yourself a drink, because I think we all need a break right now. So we'll roll the scroll and look for your name, and if you feel like clapping or beating the table, or if you feel like going, yeah, then go for it. Hey, you can keep that. You can keep the music playing, man. I can do a little thing here. No, I'm not. It's not. I need a couple drinks before I do that. Well, what do you think? Man, we have to, and it's been said tonight before, but I want to say thank you to all, to all the First Nations for inviting us and hosting this. And I've met so many cool people from north of the Medicine Line. Man, I just does my heart good, Patty.
Absolutely. So we just want to say thank you so much to NAJA, the Board of Directors, for allowing us to be your MCs for tonight. Thank you. It's always a great honor to share this night and our awards with everybody here. And we want to thank all the staff who put this conference together, the planning committee who put it together. You know, it's months and months and months of work.
It's
And
not
so-
easy, we know that.
Yeah. So we just want to say esquili. Remember that word? Kwa.
Yakoke, ha-ho!
Esquili. For all your hard work, all the volunteers who helped out, all the people who worked behind the scenes, our AV people, these guys are ace #1 back here. Really appreciate all of your hard work and coming together. And we want to wish each one of you a safe journey home. And in Hopi we say, umapas ningwu. And that doesn't mean just take care or be safe in your travels. It literally translates to make good decisions while you're traveling so you get there safely because people care about you. So umapas ningwu as you all go home from the conference. Thank you so much. It's
And
esquili.
you saw Nadia. Where's Nadia? Where's Nadia? Our official photog. Where'd she go? She's probably taking pics out there. You've seen her running around all week. She has put
Yes.
together a cool slideshow, just photos from the whole conference. Can we go ahead and start that slideshow right now?
As we leave tonight, you can enjoy the photos. Nadia Kwanin Benz from Redworks Photography. We want to thank her for her work, and here are her images.
And we know he said you'd never see him again, but we'll bring it up one more time. Graham Brewer.
Our president, Mr. Gramley Brewer.
You can't leave that easily, bud.
Thank you. Sorry I lied to you, good people. You have to put up with me one more time. Do we have, where's that last page?
The next page.
It's not up on the, okay, here we go. Thanks again for joining us for our organization's 40th anniversary here in Winnipeg, Canada. We hope you all had a productive and invigorating week, and we look forward to welcoming you to celebrate our 38th annual conference next year in Oklahoma City, July 24th to July 29th. So we'll see you there. Donedagahi.
One more note, we do have one more announcement. We do have a concert coming up after we settle up with the silent auction, and it is, I forgot his name. William Prince he's a Pegues Nation, so please stick around and dance. Thank you so much for coming. Now really enjoy.